Hey guys, Flamengo greetings. This is Flamengo. Welcome to the Paparazzo Rubro Negro channel. If you're new here, please follow, like, and share on all platforms. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe, turn on notifications, and leave a like on the video. We're here thanks to the sponsorship of Haroldo's Fan Travel Group. Remember, you can secure your spot at Flamengo's games with Haroldo's Fan Travel Group and also at Champions League games and Flamengo matches with tickets included at Maracanã. In addition, you can also get the best travel insurance. Man, Assista 365 is spectacular. You won't have to pay anything out of pocket. If you have an emergency, you go straight to the hospital. Assista 365 has you covered. On your trip, you can relax. It's the best solution for your travels. So you can get in touch with Assista 365 right now. I'll also leave the link here so you can access it with the Papa 15 coupon. With Papa 15, you get a discount. Take advantage of it. And I also want to remind you that today I'm going to Mais Cabelo in Barra da Tijuca, and there's always a Mais Cabelo near you everywhere in Brazil. And you can lose weight in a healthy way with Mais Cabelo with the Mais Slim program, and you can also do your hair treatment there. They also have ExoMais now, so get to know Mais Cabelo. You can use it to learn about the treatment. You have our Mais Slim discount here, up to 60%, and also the ExoMais treatment with Mais 10. So, you can take advantage and get to know it right now. Well, let's go. There's a lot for us to talk about. Yesterday, I talked to you about the importance of us discussing this issue. I'm seeing people talking about comparing Leonardo Jardim and Filipe Luís, saying there's a big difference in the number of shots Flamengo faces, but it's not really that much, okay, guys? The truth is already revealed. Globo Esporte published a Gato Mestre article earlier today. So in this case, I'll take the opportunity. I'll agree that there's not much difference like that. The thing is, Leonardo Jardim's Flamengo takes a lot more shots. They take a lot more shots. They also face more shots, but they finish more and it's slight, just a few more shots. They did a survey about the shots and goals conceded by Flamengo with Filipe Luís and with Leonardo Jardim. The team led by the Portuguese coach faces more shots from opponents than the Brazilian's team, Filipe Luís, okay? So Leonardo Jardim's Flamengo team suffers a bit more, okay? Flamengo's opponents average 12 shots per game against Jardim's Flamengo, excluding the Campeonato Carioca games, that is, focusing on higher level matches with first division teams. Filipe Luís's team also conceded an average of 9.6 shots per match, in other words, excluding the Carioca games, right? So it's worth highlighting. Shots also include harmless attempts, which are off-target, blocked, or even weak shots on goal, so it's not just one type. It's easy to say Jardim's team concedes more shots, but does every shot really matter that much, right? So, under Filipe Luís, Flamengo conceded 66 goals in the 101 games he managed Flamengo, an average of 0.65 per match. Meanwhile, Leonardo Jardim conceded 11 goals in 15 games with an average of 0.73 per match. In other words, Leonardo Jardim's average of goals conceded is also higher, okay? It's 0.73 compared to 0.65 for Filipe Luís's team. So, man, I'm seeing a lot of comparisons between Filipe Luís and Leonardo Jardim, and it's very similar. It's very close, okay? I think we really have a problem with aerial play, a general alert for Flamengo, right? We have to talk about that, but the difference there is small. And Flamengo is getting a lot more shots off today, that's the truth. One of our complaints was that Flamengo wasn't taking many shots, or any at all. And now, let's talk to you about the issue of aerial play, which has been a concern. So Flamengo is, look at that. Out of the 25 goals conceded this season, 11 were from aerial plays, 44%. Okay? This highlights a weakness that opponents have been exploiting. Renato Gaúcho himself also said that he was prepared to make that play, right? He had already noticed that it was a problem for Flamengo. So both of Vasco's goals, including in the 2-2 draw with Vasco, came that way, right? From aerial play, right? And out of 25 goals conceded this season, 11 came from set plays. That's 44%. That's a lot. For example, the goals allowed from aerial play. Fluminense 2, Flamengo 1, that's John Kennedy. São Paulo 2, Flamengo 1, that's Luciano. Do you see these are games Flamengo lost? Flamengo 0, Corinthians 2, that's Gabriel Paulista. Botafogo 1, Flamengo 2, that's Barbosa. Flamengo won that game. Lanús 1, Flamengo 0, that's Castillo. Flamengo 2, Lanús 3, that's Canale. Bragantino 3, Flamengo 0. Lucas Barbosa also scored a goal. You see that, man? Several games that Flamengo lost, we conceded goals from aerial plays. Estudiantes 1, Flamengo 1, that's Carrillo, okay? Flamengo 2, Vitória 1, Eric. The goal that made things a bit harder for Flamengo in the second leg, Flamengo 2, Vasco 2. We also had Vasco's goals, Robert Renan, and so on. The problem goes across different coaches. 6 goals happened with Filipe Luís, and 5 already under Leonardo Jardim's command. So, the warning remains on. It's clear that the problem with these aerial goals was already happening under Filipe Luís, okay? So, it was already an ongoing issue. I saw a lot of people saying, Leonardo Jardim is making the work that Filipe Luís left behind worse. But, hold on, there's the good part of Leonardo Jardim's work, and there's the part he couldn't improve much, which is the defense. Filipe, really, in 2025, the defense was working very well, but in 2026, it wasn't working the same way anymore. And Flamengo had been struggling. In fact, we talked here about goals that happened in the Super Cup, that happened in the Carioca, the goals that happened with Coach Filipe Luís in charge. So it's a situation where the alarm bells are ringing, and Flamengo coach Leonardo Jardim needs to fix this situation. He needs to solve this recurring problem that's happening with the Flamengo team. Yeah, and nobody gets away without paying what they owe us. Leila Pereira ended up breaking the deal. She ended up leaving Libra. Palmeiras left Libra. Leila released an official statement saying that Palmeiras would leave Libra and wouldn't decide which group they would join. Now let's wait a bit and all that. We know what they're really after. We know they want to try to negotiate a better deal and try to get close to the extra 150 million that Flamengo got. That really bothers them. She can't accept that BP won the arm wrestling match in Libra, that he managed to get Libra and all the other presidents to sign. Palmeiras itself had to agree. She preferred to leave, to be alone, to be without a league. She preferred that rather than obeying, accepting an order, let's put it that way, accepting a command. É uma imposição, né? Submitting to BAP, she can't stand that, she can't handle it, especially since she talks about Flamengo and BAP every day, and her coach, Abel Ferreira, is always talking about Flamengo. And this is going to increase. This Cold War is going to escalate. These attacks are going to increase because now it's a declared war. Now we have a situation of open war. She leaves, and clearly, I'm sure she leaves to negotiate something better for Palmeiras. Because she can't imagine, she can't accept Flamengo drawing a bigger audience, and she wants to try to negotiate on her own to see if she can get higher values. Now the thing is, we also know there's that other side, that she's the president of Palmeiras. Then who knows, soon she might be at Vasco. Vasco's fans are already idolizing her. Pretty cool. She goes up against Flamengo, so all of this really affects Leila Pereira, this whole situation, and who knows, there's a lot of talk that she's actually a Vasco fan. And then we have Abel Ferreira, yesterday already taking shots at Flamengo. It's incredible, right, man? He has to complain, and he did complain. Abel Ferreira had the audacity to go to a Libertadores press conference and complain about Flamengo's game being postponed.
I also wanted to say something to your colleague. Has anyone ever wondered why there have been so many injuries in recent months?
He's going to want to say that the injuries to Palmeiras players and players from some other clubs are because of the schedule. That's fine.
Flamengo, that we are protecting the real product, the real protagonists. which are the players. Isn't this number of injuries we're seeing because of that? Abuse. And the way they're exploited by having to play so many games. Are the players who have to go, who have the expectation of playing in a World Cup.
So for tournaments, then, with the expectation of the World Cup, they won't want to play so they don't get injured for entire competitions. So stop everything. In a World Cup year, there are no tournaments. For God's sake, man. This is unbelievable, man. If they get injured, they won't go to the World Cup. Flamengo will split. Consider this. There must be competition in a World Cup year.
I'm not asking. Just give us a week to prepare. One game. Since I arrived in Brazil.
Since 2020.
I always talk about the same thing. At the very least.
Here comes the narrative. Now he's going to talk. He's going to want to attack Flamengo.
At least 3 days play on the 4th.
Then there's that schedule, the one released on all, the schedule Palmeiras would be upset about, right? The one published on all. And we've already addressed it here that everyone had the same amount of rest time. And I'll say Palmeiras was heavily favored and he's trying to shift it to the other side, trying to attack Flamengo. It's that narrative, his usual method. Even when he's the one being benefited, he criticizes the other side to try to pretend that the other side is the one being favored.
Palmeiras, I challenge you people in the media to look at Palmeiras' schedule and the other teams' schedules, because whoever gets the best schedule wins the Brasileirão. Oh, really?
So thank you. Now let me explain something to you here. After the game you had over there in Barranquilla, depois do jogo de Barranquilla, hey Abel, you were going to play a day before the Flamengo and Fluminense game. The schedule was already in your favor, so you're going to be champions. Is that it? Because the schedule already favored you. The schedule was already set up this way for you to play a day before Flamengo. Why is that? If Flamengo played at high altitude and you played in Barranquilla, Flamengo was more fatigued. So why does Flamengo play Sunday while you play Saturday? Explain this to me. You didn't need to ask for any postponement. Now he's going to throw it all on Flamengo. I can't postpone the game. You didn't need to postpone the game. You were already scheduled for Saturday, Abel. Didn't you challenge me? You're exposed here.
Abel, calendário win de Brasileirão. Management didn't want to talk, but I will.
Speak.
So we asked to postpone the game to move up the Red Bull Bragantino game and...
Move it up, move it up. Try to move it up. Do you know if another team could?
And it was denied.
It was denied. It was undenied. On the other hand, your game after the match against Barranquilla was on Saturday and Flamengo's was on Sunday. Why did they schedule Flamengo's game on Sunday? Why do they help you so much with the schedule, Abel? And you still come to complain. He still has the audacity to complain about the schedule when he is extremely favored. It's a shame, isn't it? We have to expose these things. Didn't he challenge? Didn't Abel challenge? So, challenge accepted. And I just proved that you were already favored by the schedule. The schedule was already in your favor because it was already set. You didn't even need to ask to postpone the game after the match with Barranquilla. And my friends, we have to talk about Everton Araújo. With the injuries to Eric Pulgar and Lucas Paquetá, the defensive midfielder got his chance and became a key piece in Flamengo's midfield. Under Leonardo Jardim, he reached the mark of 9 consecutive games in the Flamengo shirt, his longest streak of matches in his career. In total, he played 21 games this season. He has been improving more and more since Leonardo Jardim arrived, and he has really enjoyed it. Muito. Playing there as the holding midfielder, he has been doing very well and feels very comfortable. And I wanted to say this. Today we are in very good shape at defensive midfield. Very well served. Obviously, Paquetá got injured. Jorginho is already at a more advanced age and all that. But as for defensive midfield, we have Pulgar, who is spectacular. We have Jorginho, who also plays there. We also have Everton, Araújo, and De La Cruz, who also plays as a defensive midfielder. Flamengo is very well served. Flamengo has never been this well stocked at defensive midfield as it is now. So Flamengo's focus today, without a doubt, is the left back position. It's the winger position because Cebolinha is likely to leave, and it's also the attack. Flamengo needs to look for center forward options. We've already said Flamengo is out there. Moving forward with the possible signing of a striker who plays in Argentine football, a player who was identified through scouting. So Flamengo, today, the information we have to bring here is that Flamengo is not looking to sign a defensive midfielder. There might be a situation here. Danilo is already a different case. As for defensive midfield, Flamengo is in a very comfortable spot. Flamengo believes at this moment that they are very well covered at defensive midfield. So Flamengo is not looking to sign a defensive midfielder. The only midfielder who really interests Flamengo, and that if Flamengo has the opportunity, they will sign, is the midfielder from Botafogo. Danilo, that's the player Flamengo is really considering for a possible signing. But with Everton, Araújo, Eric Pulgar coming back to Flamengo, the midfield is very well covered. Do you agree with me? Who do you think is the main player for Flamengo in the midfield? I want to see your comment here. Today, Everton Araújo is for real. He's a starter for this team. Eric Pulgar is back on the field, which is good news. Both Lucas Paquetá and Pulgar are in physical therapy and training, making their return. Everton Araújo stays. Do you keep Everton Araújo in Flamengo's midfield as a starter? Comment here. Look, it's important for us to say that Leonardo Jardim got a key addition that's going to be essential. But he's not doing well, man. But this is the moment. Carrascal, look, this is a direct message here for Carrascal, for Jorge Carrascal. We need you. We really need your commitment. We really need you to show why Flamengo signed you. Without Lucas Paquetá, still 2 games to go against Independiente Medellín and Grêmio, without Arrascaeta until after the Cup. As for Paquetá, this is your moment, man. Leonardo Jardim gets a boost from Jorge Carrascal, and it's important for us to mention that. He was also suspended because of the red card in the Super Cup. Man, it's a very important situation because Flamengo didn't have him. Jardim himself said he was using Luís Araújo, etc. in that midfield position where Arrascaeta was adapted. The players who were playing there were also adapted. Plata and Luís Araújo were playing there out of position. Carrascal plays in that position. So it's very important for the player to understand that this is his moment to shine. This is the moment for him to take responsibility and show why he was signed by Flamengo. You understand, Carrascal? So this is the time. You have a golden opportunity to shine in the Libertadores in the games where you eventually start, since Flamengo can't count on the player for that position. You were really signed for this, guys. I don't like to pick on anyone. I prefer to give all possible opportunities, and it's time for this guy to take advantage of this opportunity. Yeah. We know that without Arrascaeta, and especially also without Arrascaeta and without Lucas Paquetá, Flamengo loses a lot. Flamengo, who was doing very well. And this is the moment then for Jorge Carrascal to take advantage of this chance. He is the important addition that Leonardo Jardim gets for tomorrow's game against Independiente. Medellín Flamengo is already there in Colombia.
Arriving right now, the Clube de Regatas do Flamengo delegation at the Intercontinental Hotel in Medellín, Colombia. Flamengo, who will face the Independiente Medellín team in the CONMEBOL Libertadores. First members of the delegation getting off the bus, security guard Fabinho, and now the Flamengo players. Now getting off is Flamengo's football manager Gabriel Skinner. Next is the technical director of football, Jose Boto, the Flamengo executive, getting off the bus, waving here to the press. Let's see who will be the first Flamengo player to get off the bus. Coming up, head coach Leonardo Jardim. Next, Pedro Guilherme, the top scorer. Reverência, Léo Pereira, Léo Ortiz. These are the Flamengo players. Arriving in Medellín, Colombia, Alexandro, Everton, Cebolinha, the defender Danilo, next, the fullback Emerson Royal, together with Ayrton Lucas. It's Flamengo arriving in Colombia, the defender Vitão. The forward Luís Araújo, together with the defensive midfielder Jorginho. There's Jorginho passing by here inside the hotel. Lino put on glasses, Samuel Lino over there, the goalkeeper Diogo Alves, together with Everton Araújo, who has been one of the highlights of Flamengo's team, the midfielder Everton Araújo. With a renewed contract, Bruno Henrique, BH27, who will receive a bust at Gavia. Next, Saúl Ñíguez, Jorge Carrascal, together with the goalkeeper Ander, will greet the fan, Luís Filipe, Gonzalo Plata, Nico de la Cruz, and Hermo Varela. Look, Carrascal here greeting the Colombian fan, Carrascal in his country. Receiving the affection of some Colombians who are here at the hotel. Here, Flamengo attacking midfielder Jorge Carrascal of the Colombian national team, who will play in the next World Cup, is greeting fans. He is the last player. He's with Rossi. Rossi's passing by back there too, and that's it. Flamengo's arrival at the Intercontinental Hotel in Medellín, Colombia is complete.
That's it. Flamengo will train today at Atlético Nacional's training center. Flamengo will train at Atlético Nacional's training center. We're here, we're tense. With this game, Flamengo could already secure their spot in the round of 16 of the Copa Libertadores. It would put Flamengo in a good position, not necessarily qualifying them as the top team yet, but it would leave Flamengo well on track for the round of 16. I think Flamengo has the biggest chance, right? Overall first place, the overall first place in the group stage. They need to beat Independiente Medellín. Go all out, since those guys are in crisis. Take advantage, win. That's what I said. It will depend a lot on this key player, who will be the number 10, the midfielder, which is exactly Carrascal's position. De la Cruz can play there too. He can play... Pode jogar. But Carrascal was signed for that, right, guys? That's it. Please follow, like, and share on all platforms. On YouTube, please subscribe down below, turn on notifications, and like the video. Red and black greetings. This is Flamengo. Big hug. Thanks. I'm out.